Hi there, beautiful woman of influence. I'm making this video because I got your message on LinkedIn. I know that we're speaking tonight, 8 o'clock your time, but the thoughts are in my head and I wanted to share them with you whilst they're really fresh in my mind. I'm not going to call your name because I might share these videos with other people, but I want to share the principles behind what that I wanted to share as I read your messages about the challenges that you're having right now. So the very first point that I want to make is that everything, say everything, everything that's happening right now in your life, around you, in your work, everywhere, in all of your relationships is one of three things. It's one of three things. It's either a mirror. It's something that if you look into it, if you look into the situation, if you look into the relationship, if you look into the challenge, if you look into the event, if you look into the happening, if you look into that thing, you will be able to get some kind of reflection about who it is that you're being, how you're showing up. You'll see something about you if you look into whatever it is that's happening. It's an opportunity to have a mirror. It's a mirror, right? The second thing that anything and everything is to you from this moment forward is an invitation. It's an invitation. So it's inviting you to remember who you are and to be more you. To be more you. Now, I know we've spoken about this a lot, so you'll know what I'm talking about, but it's an invitation to step up how much of you're being. The true you, how much of the true you're being in that relationship, in that conversation, in that situation. Okay, so it's a mirror and it's an invitation, but it's also an opportunity. It's an opportunity, and we've spoken about this many times. It's an opportunity for you to practice. It's an opportunity for you to be tested and pass the test. It's an opportunity for you to step up and do the right thing, be the right you, show up right. Okay, it's an opportunity, and also an opportunity for you to learn, for you to see new things, for you to learn new things, for you to try new things. A massive opportunity for you to see how things could work out, right? Okay, sorry, there's somebody at the door. Sorry about that. That was somebody at the door. So what did I get to? So everything that's happening right now is happening either for a mirror or for an invitation or for an opportunity. Everything. All right. Repeat after me. Everything is happening for a reason. And not just any old reason, but a reason that can help you to be, to grow, to develop, to evolve. A reason that's working for your good. Whether it feels good or not, it's working for you. It's got something wrapped up in it for your good, for your growth, for your development. Okay? Okay, so the next thing that I really want to share with you today is my thoughts on judgment, judging other people. And what I thought about as I was reading your email is that judgment is a habit. So, it's a pattern. It's a learned pattern of thinking. So there are some people who have a judgmental pattern of thinking, so that whatever it is that's going on, whatever it is that they're looking at, they look at it with a paradigm, with a pattern of what is the other person doing wrong, or what is the other person contributing to cause this thing. So it's like we learn how to think that way about other people. We're cautious about other people. We're skeptical about other people. We're curious about other people. Where we look to work out how they're to blame. And I know it's judgment is something that we need to be really careful about. It's something that we're asked to not do, basically, to be non-judgmental. But what I was thinking about as I read your email was that it's rooted in fear. Judgment is rooted in fear. It's rooted in a thinking that says something like, if they if they don't stop doing that, or if they don't start doing this better, or if they don't improve, or if they don't get better, or if they don't do something, then I won't be okay. I won't win. I won't, if they keep doing that, I can't be me. If they don't stop doing that, then I won't be able to be happy or be my best or to make the change or create the result. Hear it. It's saying that my success is dependent on them. Like, if they don't stop doing it, then I can't. If they don't start doing that, then I won't. Then it's judgment, that kind of judgment, that kind of pointing the finger, that kind of habit of looking immediately to see how they are hindering you, how they are stopping you, how they want to block you. That's rooted in fear, that I won't be able to be the best me if they don't help, if they don't stop doing that or start doing that. I hope this is making sense to you. I'm not explaining this one as well as I would like to, but I really think I want you to think about that. I want you to think about that in light of our conversation that we're going to have this evening, and going forward. That I want you to reflect on what the situations that you want to talk about today. And where your thoughts went, in terms of the judgment and your tallying of what's happening here, your reckoning of what's going on. Was it to do with I need, or I must, or I want to, or was it that they're not, or that they aren't, or they can't, or they're getting in the way somehow, they're not helping me? Was it like that? Because if it was the kind of finger pointing, there's a saying, isn't there, that when you point a finger at somebody else, there are 3 fingers pointed back at you. Because it's a great principle that if you want to change a situation, the first place to look at is you. Is you, right? We'll talk more about it later. Okay, so mine, I've got some notes here that I just jot down. So what I want to say about judgment is that when you are seeing what they're not doing and you're not liking it, when you're seeing what they can't do or won't do or shouldn't do or should do, when that's where your focus is, chances are that thing that you don't like in them is also in you. That thing that you don't like in them is also in you. Maybe not that particular behavior, but the mindset behind why they're like that or what they're doing. Or, let me give you an example. So they could be like that because they have a weakness. Well, we all have weaknesses, right? Or they could be like that because they need to learn something new. Well, we all need to learn something new, right? Or they could be like that because they're afraid. Well, we all act out of fear sometimes, right? So what I'm saying is that the judgment that we make on other people is often rooted first in the judgment that we're making on ourselves. And I love what the Bible says. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can find this scripture. Let's see. All right. So in Matthew 7, chapter 1, it says, "Judge not, that you may not be judged. For with what judgment you judge, you shall be judged." That's saying that. Let me see if I can find another version so that to make it plainer English. So the NIV version says, do not judge, or you too will be judged. For in the same way that you judge others, you will be judged. And with the measure that you use it will be measured to you. So he said, this is Matthew writing, why do you look at the speck of sawdust in your brother's eye and pay no attention to the plank in your own eye? How can you say to your brother, let me take that speck out of your eye, when all the time there's a plank in your own eye? You hypocrite, first take the plank out of your own eye, and then you will see clearly to remove the speck from your brother's eye. I love that scripture. It's in Matthew 7, but really basically what it's saying is the thing that you when you're going like this, that they're not, they can't, they should, they're getting on, they're getting on your nerves, or they're not doing what they should, or they, that judgment is a dangerous thing. It's a dangerous thing to be leading with. It's not, if it's a habit that's where you go first, then that habit needs some work. You need to break that habit. You need to transform that habit. You need to take the focus away from what they're not doing and think about what you are doing in the situation, right? So I know I've gone on a bit, and I'm not sure if I've said all that I want to say about judgment, but here's the thing. Judgment is what you're usually judging out there is usually in you too. And so let's fix what's in you too, and then we'll be able to better impact. It's like, it's like magic. It's like magic. That if you're in a relationship and someone's doing something that you can't stand, but you do the work on you, it's like sometimes just because you're doing that work, it starts to have an impact on them without you doing anything at all, without you pointing any fingers, without you criticizing or judging them. They start to change because you're changing, right? So, I know that's not always the case, and I know that there's room for feedback and critiquing and helping other people to change. But first, the thing that I want you to think about right now with judgment is that the thing that you don't like in them is also in you. And it's like, as we work on ourselves, then we are better positioned to help other people to handle their change too. All right? So, judge not. Okay, so the next thing that I want to share with you is that came to me immediately as I was reading through your message this morning, is the difference between Pharaoh leadership and God leadership. Pharaoh and God. So you're a biblical girl. You know that the children of Israel had God as their leader, their dad, their king, their light, their pillar of cloud by night, by day, the fire by night. He led them. He was their leader. But also they went into bondage and captivity, and they were led by Pharaoh. And in the New Testament, we see Jesus leading the people. And so what I want you to consider right now is your take on the difference in leadership style between the Pharaohs and Jesus, between the Pharaoh and God. What do you see as the differences between the leadership styles of Pharaoh and God? They're powerful differences. And here's what I want to draw your attention to. Pharaoh was an oppressor. Pharaoh had his finger out like this and said, I'm going to make you pay. I'm going to make you serve me. I'm going to make you do what I say. And God, or Jesus, had a completely different style of leadership. He said, I am the gift. I am the model of the way that's good for man. I know, I have intelligence as to how things can be better for you. And I'm going to model it. I'm going to create results. So this morning, just when I read your email, I made some very quick notes about the difference between Pharaoh and God. And I want you to think about your own leadership style as you think about this. So Pharaoh's leadership was rooted and grounded in bondage and captivity. I'm going to own you. I'm going to make you do things that I want you to. You serve me. You're my servant, right? And it is rooted in fear, and it's rooted in accusation. It's like, you did this and you did that and you didn't do this and you didn't do that. It's rooted in oppression. It's about suppressing people, making people feel lower, depressing them, suppressing them, pushing people down. This is Pharaoh's style of leadership. And we don't have any shortage of that type of leadership in our world today. I'm sure you'll agree. But here's God's, whether you're thinking about God the Father or God the Holy Spirit or Jesus, whether you're thinking about however you think about God, is leadership style. Even if you think about God as just love or light or life, right? Or Mother Nature. However you think about God, I want you to know that God's leadership style is very different from Pharaoh. God's leadership style is about freedom. It's about freedom. It's about liberty. It's about love. It's about invitation to grow and be different. It's an invitation to change, to have life easier, to be better. It's rooted in truth. It's like, I see this as a situation, but here's the truth. It presents the truth. It's an example. It's a light. It's like it shines. It shines light on trouble. It shines light on a new way, on a new path, on a new road. It shines the light. It's a light unto our feet. It's a lamp unto our path. It's a lamp unto our feet and a light unto our path. David the king said. It's rooted in results. The leadership of God produces miracles, signs, wonders. It produces results. It produces solutions that can't be denied. So when you see someone healed, you just have to think about in the Bible, there are all these examples, isn't there, about people, Jesus just doing what he did, healing the people, listening to the people, talking to the people, teaching the people. And as a result, they would be healed, and then other people will go, wow, I want to know what that man knows. I want to be where that man is. I want to go where that man is going. I want to touch that man. Remember the woman with the issue of blood, how she pressed towards and touched the hem of his garment? Because she saw his example. She saw his life. She saw his love. She saw his miracles, signs, and wonders. He shone brightly and drew people to him. So those are the there's one more thing I wanted to share with you, but that really is a very powerful consideration. I want to think about the difference between God's leadership and Pharaoh's leadership and God's leadership. I want to think about the difference between Pharaoh, the oppressor, and God, the love, God, the light, God, the leader, the shepherd, the kind, loving father. The difference in leadership style, and then think about your own leadership style and just think about where they go in the situations that you've raised today. Okay, and then the last point that I really want to talk about is kicking the butt. So in our conversation on LinkedIn today, I said, I'm excited about thinking about what you're going to be doing this afternoon. Have a great time, be you, pour your love in. And then you said, yeah, I like being with these people, but, and I heard this but really loud. And I want to offer you some advice about the but. Kick that butt to the curb. Kick it out of your language. See, what the but's doing is taking your mind from the thought of having a great time this afternoon to reasons why it might not go so great. So it's like going from looking at the reasons why it can't happen. Yeah, when you say but, it's like you take it out of the possibility of being a great time to looking at what could go wrong. Yeah, I know those people. I know how I know what they're like. I know what they're going to do, or they're predictable, or this is how it's going to be. It takes you away from the hope or even the prediction or the declaration that it's going to be a great time, right? So I'm suggesting that if you see this at play in your thinking and in your vocabulary, that you catch yourself and you bring it back and start thinking about reasons why it's gonna be great, reasons why it's going to work, reasons why it's gonna be different, right? Because you're there, because you're bringing something different. Remember when I told you one hand can't clap? So even if they come with exactly the same thing, you're coming with something completely different. So it doesn't have to be the clap that it usually is, right? It doesn't have to be the clash that it usually is. It can be different now. And the more you hope and expect and decree and think about why it's going to be different, how it's going to be different, that it's going to be different, the more chance there is of it being different. So, yeah, those are the kind of thoughts that have come to me as I have read your mail this morning. Can't wait to speak to you later on. Yeah, see you later. Bye.